Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here again for another stream. Yeah. Hello once again. Uh, had fun playing Titanfall last night, but I'm back again tonight to finish up some models. Gonna be working on and finishing this guy tonight, hopefully. Pretty much just gotta do the both arms, the head, the backpack, and then his weapons and accessories. So I think we can do it in about our normal stream time. If it takes a bit longer, so be it. Got no problem going a bit longer to finish this up tonight. Yeah, get my lights set up and I'll jump right into it. Put the old fluorescent charge. No. Might as well figure out my focus while I'm here. Okay, that's not so bad. Oh, it's good for about there. I'll work with that. It's not too out of focus right there. Yeah, that'll work good. Yeah, to start tonight, we're going to be doing the arms. So I'm just going to jump right into her. XP. All XP. And as always, if ever the music or audio is out of weird levels or stuff's out of focus, just let me know. No problem trying to fix stuff on the fly. Yeah, had fun last night. I think I played through. I haven't actually looked up the chapter to playtime thing for Titanfall 2. I should probably do that to see how much I actually have left. But I played through a good amount of it last night, and yeah, I really enjoyed that game. That really shows off like how creative their level designs are in every level. Because there's like a neat little gimmick thing pretty much every level. You get the level where you're going through as like a pre-built house is basically getting constructed on an assembly line, and you're using the house that's getting built around you as cover, trying not to get crushed by the pieces smashing into place. And then you start doing timey-wimey bullshit where you have an ability that basically takes you forward and backwards in 2 points in time. And you basically use that to get through park goal puzzles by just snapping back and forth in time when the path is blocked in one timeline. Yeah, it's been fun so far. Dying a little more than I expected, but I also haven't played it in like a year. And I'm pretty sure I played on normal last time I played it. I'm playing through it on hard. But it has been fun. And I played a little bit of the multiplayer to warm up, and that's actually kind of got me itching to play it again. When you get really good at the multiplayer in that game, it just becomes like an entirely different game, where you're literally just not touching the ground the entire time. Goddamn fire are actually kind of crazy how good they are. Still satisfy my own OCD. I'm still doing a little hand cleanup, but it's pretty good. Oh, it still gets kind of out of focus there. Let me try and tweak the focus. Let's use that. Usually line it up there. So let's say there. How's the... It's kind of blurry down here, but it's not too bad. How's the sprue look? Oh yeah, you can see the little detail pretty good. Yeah, it should be fine. Now, I dropped that piece. I didn't do it. Oh, thankfully it's right there. This is trimmed up. Use work. That's not bad at all. Yeah, that works good. Yeah, this has been pretty enjoyable building this on stream. As I said, I kind of got into the habit of just listening to podcasts and kind of just chatting with friends when I was doing it before, and that was pretty enjoyable. But kind of forces me to kind of articulate what I'm doing and why I enjoy it. Helps me appreciate it in some ways. Past the old detective. I think only one is really needs it. Yeah, the chance of it's not very high, so I'm gonna try. These other pieces don't need all that much. God, hey, I'm doing such a good job. Yeah, I have been doing some of the. I've mentioned in the previous episodes. I've been trying to watch through the Gundamwing anime. Continuing watching it dubbed, which is kind of starting to seem like it might be my reason for watching it is just to cast the really good quotation marks dub moments. I actually have a couple clips I'll probably play later. But, yeah. Great moments. I only got 2 episodes done through this time out of the 3, but I actually managed to take better notes this time, so I shouldn't ramble quite as much as I did for the first 3. Should be fun. Shoulder joint. 23 and 22. So yeah, have you never watched someone do one of these Gundam kits before? Because I can just kind of talk through my process until people show up. I basically go through with these clippers. They're double-sided clippers, meaning there's a blade on both sides. And I just go through and give the appropriate piece on the sprue a clip. The letter is which sprue it is, and the number is which piece on the sprue. Go through and do it with these double clippers, because compared to some of the other tools I have, they're a little more sturdy. Cut through a little thicker stuff easier. So I usually go through and just do a real rough cut far away from the piece, the sprue for the pieces I need. I'll go through and cut out all those pieces. Usually I do about between like 3 and 5 pieces at a time, so I don't kind of get mixed up where I am. But that's most so let's go with that for now. And yeah, once I've got those cut out from the sprue with the double-sided, I use these God Hand single-sided pliers. These ones only have a blade on this side, and this side is a flat stop surface. The blade doesn't actually touch it thanks to how the spring is adjusted, but it's basically meant to be a flat surface for the piece to push up to, while this blade does the actual cutting. And it makes really nice, clean cuts. The blade's actually supposed to be supposedly super high quality, even if that is slightly outside my area of expertise. And you may notice I'm just kind of tossing the pieces off. I've been saving the little clippings as much as I can for this, because I have an idea for maybe like a little kind of vial full of all the little clippings, or maybe melt them down and use them for something at a later date. Kind of an artsy project. As I said, kind of my goal for the streaming stuff is I kind of want to expand my like creative endeavors a little bit. I was thinking about maybe getting into painting along with this. I've been doing the very amateur cosplay the last couple of years at cons, so I was thinking like start working with EVA foam and take that someplace. And documented, it seems like it's a decent motivator to actually try and get it done. Yeah, I believe this is just the interior parts of the shoulder plating I'm working on right now. Just using these single-sided pliers to go in and kind of clear out some of the excess plastic. Usually I try and have a better grip on them so they don't go flying like that, but it's what it is. Thankfully it doesn't look like a damaged piece at all. I will probably go into the X-Acto knife and finish that one. And yeah, X-Acto knife is just mostly because that's what I've used the longest and I'm most comfortable with for cleaning up these parts. This is the first build I've actually done with these single-sided pliers, so I'm still learning how to use them properly. And I imagine when I get better at them, I won't have to use this X-Acto knife as much, but I still use it to clean up my cuts a little bit. Hey, Gunzander, welcome. How is it going this evening? Just here, hopefully finishing this Deathscythe up tonight. Hell yeah. Hope you have a great evening. I'm working on the shoulder part of one of the arms right now. Cleaning up my parts before I start putting them together. Thank you for joining me. Nope. Hard on me. That's why I always kind of try and check the motion range of movement before I put this part aside and start putting more stuff on the outside of it. Is if I can really easily pop it apart, it's probably going to come apart when I'm putting other pieces on it. So make sure it's nice and tight now before it gets too many other pieces attached that I then have to remove. Yeah, there we go. Now, I'm gonna do outside armor. G1, 3, D17. D's it's blue, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I suppose I need to start thinking about which model I'm going to do after this one. I think I'll probably do another Gundam, probably, just because I'm going to keep doing, I mentioned earlier, but I'm going to been doing kind of a watch through of the Gundamwing anime. Kind of planning to keep doing that for a while, so there's quite a bit of it. So I'll probably keep doing Gundam models for a little bit here, but I have a couple models from other series behind me as well that I will eventually get to. Excuse me for a moment. Yeah. Is that white? No, that's yellow. Yeah, it's been the first time in a while I've gone back and watched a older anime. It's definitely kind of been a something like that. I just kind of look past in a lot of ways. And as I mentioned a couple streams ago, for sure, but when I decided to watch through it with the dub just because for maximum nostalgia for when I saw it when I was a kid. And some of the dub is god awful in such a fantastic way. Like I can't, like, people are putting their heart into it, they're just misguided, it seems. It definitely seems like a direction problem more than anything. That's the time though. It is funny how many of the like villain characters in this, like, it's sci-fi still, but it's all humans. Like there's no real aliens or anything in Gundam. So it's these like bunch of generals sitting on a table, and I'm finding it really hard not to imagine them as like the Dragon Ball Z like alien villains because they all just got the like super generic villain voices from that time. Yeah, but it's been fun. It's an old anime, so like everything outside the action scenes look bad, and then the action scenes only kind of look okay. There's been some good, and then some just look like frames. Yeah, as I said, probably gonna move on to doing another Gundam next. Got two other Gundam mechs I can build, Gundams I can build after this. I got the Shenlong and the Epion from the same series. And these are all from the like Endless Waltz movie for Gundam Wing. I think the Epion one's like a newer model because it's like a bigger box. It seems to have more pieces to it. So I think I might do Shenlong next, then do Epion as my last one of these. Yeah, as I said, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do next after these next two Gundams. Gundam Wing's really the only experience I have any only series I have any nostalgia for. And honestly, the only Gundam I've really ever sat down and watched too much of. Just really like the mech designs, honestly. The model kit's always fascinated me. It was always about the engineering of the model kits to a degree. Off camera there. Oh man, those dark pieces really don't show up very well on camera, do they? Oh well. Is what it is. Is this inside? No, that's going to be right on the outside, so I should actually probably put some cleanup on that. Its other spot as well, just in case. Yeah, even if you look real close, you can kind of see it's not the exact same color. It looks closer when it dries, which is nice. But I still put it on because it's a lot less obvious than this like white color the piece usually has. Put that aside to dry for a moment. This is all cut up, right? Yep. Okay, so I'll just start prepping the pieces for the next step while that piece dries. Doesn't take long. It's usually only like a minute or two, but if you try and do it right away, I tend to rub it off while I'm grabbing it. B12. This one, cut myself. I'm assuming most of the like models I have from other series besides Gundams will be mostly the same building because they're still the same company. All the ones I have at least are Bandai. I did see that Armored Core has a lot of like higher quality models through a company called Kotobuki. I've seen their models before for like other series. Like, I think I've seen a lot of mechs for them from like more like Japanese mainstream titles like Frontline and stuff like that. Yeah, I actually want to check out more of the local hobby shops here. I haven't actually been in person to any of the ones here in my town. I went to a bunch when I was on vacation this year because I ended up wanting to get actually all pretty much these Gundam models I'm building right now. I got over the Christmas break, so I went to a bunch of hobby shops when the town and my sister lives in. I was visiting, and yeah, that was amazing little shops. I went to like 2 or 3, and they were all great. Just floor to ceiling models. Okay, well that piece is cleaned. Let's drink some water, and then that piece should probably be dry. Right into the other piece. There's my snap. This one first. And here, some jets. How purpose? Oh, not very. Okay, yeah, I can paint that after. I was thinking I'm probably going to want to color the inside of that jet red. I have a very dark red. Doesn't show up too well, but it's better than nothing. Better than just being gray. Kind of want to get some brighter colored paints. Something kind of more than what's been more than I've already spent on all of this stuff before I get my use out of it. Yeah. Oh. Shoulder. Elbow time. Cap on that knife. 7, 8, and 12. Sorry, if you ever see me pause there, I'm more or less just looking ahead to see if I should cut more pieces out to make it easier to put it all together all at once, or if it's worth just going through and putting together what I have. It's usually based on how required the pieces I have are to be together for the next piece to really progress for me to make that decision. Yeah, enjoyed playing Titanfall 2 yesterday. How long was I played through that campaign? Almost as satisfying as ever. It was always the thing going to play Apex is all the guns in Apex are just worse versions of their guns in Titanfall almost all the way. Like, I don't think it was a single one. Like the best guns in Apex were like on par with their version in Titanfall. But then like some of the best guns in Apex, like the R301 that people love, was way inferior to its version in Titanfall 2. Doing the background music. It's done by Flash Star Beat. Pretty much just search him on YouTube and it'll come up. Found him by looking for background music on Dova Syndrome, a royalty-free website for Japanese artists. He had stopped posting his stuff there and started putting it on YouTube, and it takes stuff out there, and it was great. So I grabbed a bunch of it to use as BGM. Yeah, I like it. Please go check out his stuff. It's got a pretty wide breadth of stuff. Exactly. We should probably get some good attention to this at some point, but I'm pretty good. Careful. But I suppose there is a reason I say I haven't cut myself that badly yet. Probably is only a matter of time. This is the only time I'll mention this stream, so I don't say it a million times like I did the first time. But I definitely spend way more time on the cleanup of these pieces than I probably need to. But it's part of the experience for me. I find it very zen and relaxing. So please bear with me. I'll try to mention a bunch like I did in the first stream. Okay. He's cleaned up enough. Together. Just double check, make sure all my orientations are right. Can't see that all. My fingers will entirely cover it, but the hinge is working to make sure it's not too stiff. But I think this one's supposed to be fairly stiff, posing. Yeah, I believe that's the elbow. 1315 XA. Yeah, 1350. So we're right in our wrist. Soft rubber joint piece. Yeah, a few of these pieces are like a softer rubber material. They generally put where the arms and legs and stuff joint into the other pieces. So it's like a firm hold, but if you put enough pressure on it, it does slide and give. Kind of what you want in a joint piece. It's one of these ones down here. It's what we're looking for. Okay, right? Yeah. Yeah, I showed them off a little earlier, but just to get a better, closer view of where we're at so far. Yeah, I got the legs, the waist, and the chest all done. Working on his right arm now. Do that. His other arm, his head, his backpack, and then his weapons and accessories. And that'll probably be the stream. I've been hemming and hawing and doing the decals on this one. I generally don't like doing decals. I find they're make it look worse. But that might be also because I just suck at applying. So maybe I'll try a little harder this time and see if I can make them look good. But I'll actually have to find the decals and take a look at them and see what I think before I come to a decision on that. If I do end up wanting to do the decals, I'll probably just wait and do it at the same time I do some panel lining on them. Do it all at once. That's another thing I want to start doing is I showed them off on previous streams just so I have it on this one. Practicing doing some panel lining on him and rather than using him as a pinata to test a bunch of different techniques, but I think it doesn't look bad. I was kind of iffy when I first did like these panels on him and it didn't look the best. It looked very comicsy, but it made this shield look way better. So I decided to keep doing it after I did that. Roll it away from my spot. Yeah, this model should be at least supposedly complete today. If I want to add details, I can always do it later. do hope my angles have been a little better this last couple streams. I've been trying to focus on making sure my camera and positioning were better. I hope that's been apparent. It's actually been the nice thing of doing a bit of editing and uploading my VODs to YouTube. So I kind of want to used to kind of learn some editing software for videos. And this hasn't been much, just mostly bouncing audio and cutting out big breaks. But definitely made me notice when I was off stream for any periods or out of focus for extended periods of time. Well, that's how we improve, is we notice when we do worse. You're always doing awesome, you got no reason to try harder. Well, I guess there's plenty of people with a personality type where that's not the case, but one who's very tends to be content and feels comfortable. Yeah, this one. Oh. Just make sure all my joint angles on correctly. Yep. Good. Good. Oh, okay. Use this piece. Sorry, I kind of lean off camera to looking at the manual here for a second. Okay, so I want that peg, little tiny peg on the interior there, facing upwards. Slide it into this. Okay. The other side of this. There we go. It must. I imagine maybe the sleeves will prevent its range of motion. So far. Now we need D2, D4. Yeah, the extra little. I really do need to pick up a high grade kit at some point here to give them a try to see where they're at nowadays. Because maybe the high grade kits nowadays have this degree of articulation, but it's something I kind of didn't notice at the time when I was a kid. Definitely noticed these. They have really good articulation on a lot of the arms and legs. D2 and D4. Let's drink some water. Eat up all this piece. I think I'd definitely forgotten about playing Titanfall. How like kind of like casually brutal it is at points with like just the mechs interacting with like human soldiers. Like you don't really even need to like be offensive towards enemy like infantry at all in the mech in that game for them to die. You just like move in the general direction, like they get swept away underneath your feet. You ground infantry in those games. Oh, nice. Yeah, it's been fun seeing this model come together in this way. It's a way that you usually don't see. If you follow the instructions to the T, it starts off with like head, chest, arms, and then you stick those on the waist, onto the legs and waist. I did it this way so I can kind of start displaying on the stand a little earlier in the process than I would otherwise, because I kind of really haven't seen it put together in these ways yet for these other models, so it's been neat. Okay, sleeves on here. Orientations are correct. Yep. Doesn't matter. Or it doesn't matter. This piece is the same either way. That's why it doesn't indicate. Okay. That would help something. I did have it the wrong way, but let's go down farther. Oh, is this the wrong piece? Oh, it's just D4. Cut the wrong D4. Oh yeah, I cut D3, not D4. That explains. Well, I caught that at least rather than just trying to force it. Okay, sorry. this too. I think this is the external armor. I find if I'm having to color up, even if it's like, I think this when this dries, it looks a lot closer than it is now. Like, yeah, oh yeah, especially when you got the light on it, you kind of really see where the marker part is. But in that case, I just kind of put it as a line, so it can kind of be shading, but. There it goes. Step over that part there. It's the forearm. Let's see what? What? Here. Go straight on. Again, love working with white pieces. You can mar it all you want. It doesn't really show up. The main reason Mars show up so badly on the color pieces is because it's usually white in color. It shows up really strongly on the dark pieces. It's white on white, not really. I'm trying to see if I can get rid of those mold lines. Probably look worse. I'm not gonna try. There. Supper. Very good. Oh, it's hands time. I haven't decided what I'm going to be posing him as, so I'm going to leave the actual finger part of his hand off for now. But I'll build his palm and the rest of it now. XA3, XV16. Oh, it's his thumb. Tiny ass thumb. C13? 13. Or 12. Oh. Run this. Yeah, we're almost done the arm then. Just gotta put the wrist sleeve on. Put everything together. Oh, got blue in my fingers. That means I handled the part I painted earlier. I thought we were gonna dry. Yeah, can't see it wore off there. Oh well, it's an exterior plate. I can clean that up later. I really should be doing that. Just leaving it and cleaning it up all at once when I do my detailing. More efficient use of time, and I am going to be handling the pieces until it's all together more frequently. So. Yeah, I should be finishing up. I mentioned I played Titanfall 2 for my first gaming stream. I should be finishing the campaign for that up Sunday. Then I'm on another game for next week on Wednesday. So starting to put more thought into that. Starting to lean more and more towards starting Oblivion. So a lot of nostalgia as well for old Elder Scrolls game. Morrowind was my first one, and I played that probably more than anything. But Oblivion was also very fun. Looking forward to going back, making hideous abominations. Insert the thumb, put the blade over it, locked it. Man, I need to sleep. G11. Jeez. Oh, it is orange. It's orange sleeve? Yellow. Yeah, mentioned it before, but my schedule is probably going to be Tuesday to Thursday. It's what, 6 Mountain Standard Time to 10 Mountain Standard Time most nights. Usually longer, sometimes a little shorter, depending on feeling. And then Sunday as well. But this is like my 4th stream ever right now, so I'm definitely still figuring stuff out. That's all pending change. But that's what you can expect for now. Joint goes in there. Big joint goes in there. That goes on here. Oh, pop the armor right off. I mentioned that before, but yeah, a lot of the snap fit beats with the pressure on them at just the right angle, they can pop right off. Thankfully, it doesn't happen too. So when you're trying to force other pieces to make sure they're snugly fitting, it causes them to pop out. Oh, there we are. One arm in. Let's do the other. Speed this one up a little bit, maybe. 10, 11, 13. Yeah, this is the one I already cut from. That's completely clean screws. That's gone. Successfully avoided losing a piece. 13. Actually, all these pieces are loose. So let's go ahead and cut some of the future pieces ahead of our curve here. Change the tools out. Yeah, thank you for Flash Beat. Every music here tonight is not by that same guy. Really check him out on YouTube, please. Extra attention. Just a tiny bit. Not much. Hey, thanks for the follow there, Shizzy. Welcome, welcome. Just working on finishing my Deathscythe model for tonight. Probably about 75% of the way there. Put on the other arm. There it goes. Peg. Good wiggles. Just tight. Move. Needed. Good, good. Next. Shoulder arm. blue. That B part at the same time. As I mentioned, when I get a bit farther along, especially on pieces like this, where it's like the outlet for a booster of some kind, rather than leave that just gray, I will eventually put a bit of this red coloring on that. But I think I'll wait until after everything's all together, and I'll do the detailing all at once. And this isn't perfect. Honestly, if I'd probably prefer to get like a brighter, like almost acrylic, probably acrylic paint. That might work a bit better for kind of thruster details and stuff, but for now that's kind of all I have and what I want to try and make work. And it doesn't look awful. I'll show you, I have a piece that I used it on already that I'll show you a bit, I can show off a bit later. Doesn't look too bad. I have enjoyed with this particular model compared to some of the other Master Grades I've done. There's a lot more like detail-y stuff in the design. Like I'm sure there was in some of the other stuff, but I just didn't notice it as much. But like specifically, like on the legs, this has like all these like fins and spike parts that a lot of the other ones I didn't have. So it's been interesting. Do need to start trolling for a little more background. So it'll do pretty much what I did to find this playlist I'm using right now and just start trolling on Dova Syndrome. shoulder armor down. It's on there. Booster. Detail. Blue outer armor. Eight, 7, and 12. Ahead on this one. 15 feet. Oh, we're on the different part of the left arm. So these are 14, 16. Excuse Yeah, and other than what rewatched through the Gundam Wing series, I actually haven't watched much else in that terms of anime in the last week. Gotten a bunch of recommendations the last couple streams, but haven't checked them out yet. Most of the day I actually spent learning my video editing software a little better. It's been rewarding. Oh, let's drink some water. It's one of our local anime conventions here, doing a bunch of the announced guests and stuff. And it's actually kind of funny. They had a concert I kind of went to on a whim at the end of their day, one of the nights. and it was really good. And they had like a really packed room, and it was actually a really good event. And I've noticed this year they are super focusing on their music guests. Like it seems like they're trying to really push the concert aspect of their convention as something that set them apart. Hopefully, it turns out like I don't like it's all Japanese groups, so I don't actually recognize too many of them off just by name, but I have quite a few that seem to have pretty good following coming this year. Like there's a Visual K band, there's like a DJ, a couple of good ones. That's the tractor knife. Yeah, I guess the other thing that kind of stood out for me playing Titanfall 2 was the bosses actually all had very distinct personalities. That was kind of cool. They definitely tried to make them characters, and I don't know. They do. They have your character talk a lot to your robot buddy, but it doesn't really seem to develop his actual like personality too much. I guess part of the problem with playing it like a character insert characters don't want to establish an independent personality too much, but it really does seem like the game where your character having personality would be an issue. And not that he doesn't have a personality, it's just super. Nothing super stands out about it. More just generic army man. There we go. But yeah, the villains and all that are pretty good. Uh, the like main guys, like main bad guys, like super Australian. I kind of forgotten Ash, who ended up being a character in Apex, was a boss in that game. I haven't really paid attention to much of the lore stuff behind Apex because it all kind of, eh, none of it really jumped out at me. So I'm not quite sure how they justified her being in that game. At least in my playthrough, I pulled her out of the cockpit and squeezed her real hard with my mech hand. But I guess she is a robot, so got lots of outs. Correctly. Okay. sure. Sorry, quiet here. Just making sure I'm reading the correct instructions correctly. Save me a lot of hassle down the line if I do. Just like that. That up. There we go. That's better. Oh, there we have it. One internal arm structure. Quite a range of motion. Goes the other way, which none of my other mechs really did that. I don't think. Maybe they did and just didn't notice, but I don't remember them being able to go that far back on the elbow. We'll see how that actually ends up posability. Maybe when the arm sleeves goes on, they block it somehow. That could make sense. This piece is already cleaned. D2. Doesn't get that upper arm on here. Those three. How's that coming along? Not too bad. Got some more yellow in there now. This piece. Yeah, pretty much settled now that, especially watching where I am in the TV series, I think Shenlong is going to be my next Gundam model I'm going to do. I was always kind of more of a form of the Zenithswald mech, Altron. That's only because 2 dragon heads are better than 1 dragon head. And the like cockpits for the dragon heads look very much like that big fat fuck Thunderbolt plane. I always watch pretty much around the same time. That place with the sleeve. Yeah. This piece. It's down over top of this. Snaps the place right there. Nice. Armored arm. Now it's a hand. Should be two. Right there. I'll talk about it a little more when I get to talking about the anime in the second half of my stream for Gundam Wing. But goddamn, the pilot for Shenlong, I think it's Wu Fei is his name. Such an asshole. Kind of fantastic. Oh, this is the final piece from this sprue. So it's another blank sprue. Thank you for your service, supporting material. Yeah. Yeah, I always really liked the Shenlong and Ultron. They both have like one of their arms basically transformed into like a dragon's head with a flamethrower. Let me tell you, as a 12-year-old, that was pretty cool. Still pretty cool. Not as cool as then, but still pretty cool. So that'll be fun to post some of that. I'm sure that's one thing. Any of the like transformations or like body part adjustments these mechs have, they can absolutely do in this. Make sure to be really good about stuff like that. Oh, sorry, just blew right in the mic. Oh, back. That secures the thumb in that hole because it was wider on the other side than on this side. That's why it's covered now. G1. Cuff. And assembly time. Okay, okay. We are back. Welcome back, everyone. So here's where we are in the process so far. Just got these arms on there tonight. Now I'm gonna move on and do the head, and start on some of the cooler bits, the weapons and stuff. Oh, this is gonna be painful though. I remember the head isn't that complex, but it has a lot of small pieces that hurt your fingers. Yeah, right in the corner. A 20 for the screw as well. Oh, what's this asshole tiny red piece? Oh, that's gonna be such a pain to work with. We need an H and a C. H. G. G. 14. Here. Yeah, we should be good to trim now. Wider single edge. Not that it really needs it too much in the spots. And then up the spurs. Yeah, might as well get that out of the way at the top there. If you enjoy the music you're listening to, it is Flash Beat on YouTube. If it helps support me, feel free to check out YouTube where I'm going to be putting the VODs up. Eventually, probably going to put up some edited content as well, but got to get there first. And I mostly around conventions, the time I'll be posting on Twitter, but until then, I also post for them planning on doing anything outside of my usual schedule, which is, as I said mentioned before, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, Tuesday through Thursday, and then Sunday. That's not 100%, so I might tweak it here in the next little bit, but that's what I'm going to try for now. Basically cleaned up. Let's have this guy. Oh, yeah, that's actually too small for me to handle properly, so I'm gonna use these. Trying not to squish it too much to damage the piece. too afraid to grip it tight, because if I grip too tight with those, it'll actually indent on the piece and make it look real ugly. So I don't want to do that. Oh, once again, good old Zach, my fault to save the day. At the risk of my fingies. Not bad. Okay, that actually wasn't too hard to work with. I do feel these hurting my fingers, though. I will say, after having not done these models for a bit, handling these tiny-ass plastic pieces constantly really makes me feel like when I'm trying to learn guitar. Aches deep, deep in the skin of your fingers. Just this face plate. Too bad already. A little. And in the head parts for these models, they do a lot of like color layering in a neat way to get the effect. You'll see it a bit in the face. You can see they use like tiny little color pieces that are just there basically to show through in the outside model to give it some detail and color. Oops, sorry. Head. How's that angled anyway? Pretty good actually. So this should just go right on here. Yeah. Snugly. Oh, that red is his chin. Huh. Ah, there we go. Kind of curious what part that would end up being. No thanks, bot. Sorry, just give me a second here. There we go. Sorry. It's the first spot I've had to ban, so it took me a little bit to know where to go. A8. Put that at the ready in case I need it. There we go. G1, 8, and 9. These little colored fins. There we go. Anything else cut out now? No. Looks like everything else is pretty involved. Let's get these pieces on first. Yeah, let's get this head and get the weapons. Probably one of the, if I hoping a couple of people I was talking with about it would show up, but that's fine. I'm probably gonna go through and talk about the couple episodes of Gundam Wing I saw. I actually took some notes this time, so I should be able to be a little more lucid about discussing that, but I also have some clips. Some very excellent voice acting. But I'll get to that probably once I finish this head and get to the weapon. This yellow one's a pain. Piece is like indented next to this taller piece on the side, so it's hard to get the blade in each spot. Knife. Yeah, definitely been an experience going back and watching Gundam Wing again. Probably haven't watched that since I was a teenager. Definitely, it's definitely an older anime for sure. Like even its like best animation is kind of mid by today's standards, but it is what it is. And like I mentioned, like the voice acting's super corny in spots, but like the actual like writing of the show is super corny in spots too, so it kind of works. Okay, let's go in through the back over the front. I see, I see. Make sure like jut is pointing up. Oh, I gotta cut this piece in there too. Miss. yeah, I should be finishing up Titanfall 2's campaign on Sunday. At least that's the plan right now, unless something else comes up. But once I do that, I'll probably be jumping in. I'm thinking it's probably going to be the Oblivion remaster. Is the game I'll jump back into, or jump into for my next series. That'll probably last me a bit longer. Plus, playing a campaign is fun, but it definitely limits kind of what I can go around and experience. On a track the whole time. It's definitely the charm of an open world game is you can kind of fuck off and go wherever you want. Supposed to be loose. Right, mess something up. I'm gonna wait till I'm putting these pieces together entirely before I put these in solid, but let's just put a light fit in now. I'll come back to them. Pretty sure these will be held in place by other pieces, actually. Don't worry about it. Okay, next. A7. Back of the head. Every piece is put this way. A5. Oh, let's look one of the clear pieces. Must be the eye line. Nice. And here. Oh, actually two pieces. Just cleaned up. Yeah, once I get this head on, I'll bring up my notes on my watch. Gundamwing. So I can have those up to reference while I work on the weapons. Okay. Well, it's pretty much done. Quick once over with the knife. Okay, assembly time. Back of the head. Shin. And the eyes. Where do those go? Okay, the eyes are pointed down. Snaps on there. Faceplates. Let's see. Much more recognizable Gundam face. Bring it a little closer. Yeah. And you can see those little small color parts I mentioned, just kind of like poking through to give it some nice detail. And the lights, yeah, it's actually a neat part of it is you can see it's kind of clear at the top there. That piece is directly connected to the clear part with the eyes. So if you shine a light in there, it actually will help illuminate the eyes a little bit. I think that's how a lot of the LED kits make it work, because they basically just put an LED in there. That's something else I might do. That's my eventual goal is probably to get the once I finish all these Gundam Wing models at master grade, I'm probably going to get that perfect grade Wing Gundam model. And I'll probably end up getting a lighting kit to go with it. So stuff for the future, but that might be a ways off. A19 and G12. Oh, is this? I think these little caps were the original smallest part. That's pretty close. I guess we could just safely say there are a lot of small parts in these kits. That'll cover our bases. G12. Iconic little headpiece. Sorry. Especially with these really tiny pieces, they barely show up on camera as it is, so it's probably not helping taking them out of frame, but because they're so small, I'm trying to make sure I see what I'm doing when I snip. I have to trim this one too much. Good, because if I did, I'd probably fuck it up. God damn it, tight this is. Sorry. Those on here. Make sure. Pointed part of this is pointed down. Put it onto the middle of this yellow piece. So. Below the clear part there. For the head? I don't know what this part of the instruction manual means. So I'm gonna Google Translate for a second and find out. Seal. So that must mean like a decal. Okay. So don't need to worry about that now. Hey, welcome, storyteller. I actually have fantastic timing. I was actually just about to start talking about the Gundam Wing episodes I had watched. And just finished making the head and attaching it. Oh. Yeah, so now I pretty much just have the backpack and the weapons for this guy to do. Yeah, backpack, the scythe, and his little arm shield. And he'll be done. Yeah, thanks. But yeah, before I start on that, let me bring my notes up. I have notes on the episodes like Gundam Wing I watched. So I can actually follow it a bit. I also have some clips to play, but we'll wait a bit to do that. Oh, where was that? Just do no momentum. Yeah. Perfect. Oh, that really did. That screwed around with my aspect ratio here. One moment so I can see his chat again. There we go. Nice, cool. Let's get those pieces cut out, and then I'll start talking about Gundam Wing when I'm doing my trims. 17 and C1. But yeah, welcome, storyteller. Yeah, it's been good progress. I said at the start I wanted to try and make sure I got this done tonight, and I think I will be able to. 17, right here. Let's see. Two D pieces. Ten and 12. Was it 12? Right? Three more. Let's do this. Him and Haw in here quite a bit. D116. These are all pretty distinct pieces, so I shouldn't get them mixed up. It's usually my worry if I cut out a bunch of pieces all at once. Yeah, but I was talking earlier about how continue to watch the anime for Gundam Wing in the dub, and it's been an experience. It's generally been some pretty low effort things, but there's also been some very hilarious parts. And it's my first time in a long time watching like a much older anime, so I forgot how kind of like lower quality a lot of the animation stuff is, and that on those older shows. So it's been an experience, but I've gotten some great voice acting clips from the most recent episode I saw. That just had moments just made me burst out laughing. Yeah, I watched episode. I actually only ended up watching 2 episodes this time, so I kind of taking notes took a bit more time, and then the voice acting parts happened. And I got distracted making clips. So, starts out with the enemy's ace pilot heading to a training facility, where they store basically all their like space capable mechs. And I think, yeah, these are just plain mobile suit. Gundam only usually refers to like the special like mechs that all have this face basically. But other than that, there's a couple other features that I'm not super familiar with, so we're going to talk on that distinguishes them from regular mobile suits, I think is what they call the generic mechs. But yeah, he's headed to a like training facility that also doubles as yes, that's exactly it. Specifically it is, because a lot of the voice acting goes hard. It just goes hard in weird directions. So it seems very much like a direction problem. But yeah, he's going to this training facility because it's where they store all their space-capable mechs, and he's suspecting that's where the Gundam pilots are going to attack next. And that facility happens to be run by one of his like fellow top students from the academy, a woman named Noi. And basically, he arrives at the facility and has a couple conversation with her. Very clear she's into him, but it is what it is. It's old. There's another thing with these old anime. It's not subtle in a lot of the ways in some of this stuff. But yeah, they talk a bit. She seems to have like a policy of like telling her soldiers not to try too hard, like value their life over the mission and stuff like that. She seems to be very empathetic. And then while they're having this conversation, the pilot of Shenlong, I believe his name is Wu Fei. Could be wrong on that. I have the name written here, but I might have written it down wrong. But yeah, he was shown in one of the previous episodes buying a bunch of explosives, and basically interrupts that conversation by bombing their training dormitory and like injuring a bunch of these pilots she's just shown to be kind of care for. So she gets super mad and jumps in a flying mech to chase after him. He's like running away on a motorcycle. She catches up with him and realizes, like all the Gundam pilots, that he's like 14, 15. He's like a super young kid. And this is another part where this anime kind of shows its age, because it's very much him it's his character as well, but they do this better in a lot of more modern animes, where he's just like, she's like hesitating to kill him because he's a kid, and he's like, oh, so you're a woman, and stuff like that. It's just, yeah, I know it's to show that he's kind of an asshole character as well, but they do that better nowadays than they did there, whereas like talking down and being empathetic and being a woman is like the same thing, and either of them is being bad things. But it is what it is. It's a product of its times. And he ends up getting the jump on her by like throwing a flashbang and running off and grabbing his mech and defeating her and her subordinates, and shooting the transport that's trying to get away with their supply of these like space capable mechs. And that's basically the end of that scene, where he defeats her and he leaves her for dead. Not leaves her for dead. She's not dead. She just basically shows mercy on her and leaves her. Then cuts back to Hero and Duo in their little hangar where they're repairing their mechs. Where Duo keeps trying to talk to Hero is the main character. He drives the wing mech, and Duo is the like space Australian I told you about, who pilots the mech I'm currently building. Yeah. Yeah, he keeps trying to talk and offer to help him fix his mech, and he literally ignores him. Like, almost doesn't acknowledge he's talking to him at all. Except at the very end, he's like, "Hey, can you shut up?" Basically. So it kind of paints a picture of what character he is. He talks about how he like gets a notice about a shipment of like parts for that he can use for his mech being going out the next day, so he plans to go and steal those parts to repair his mech. Doesn't have to do over help or anything, just basically show that he wants to be a lone wolf. It then cuts to this amazing scene with like the like heroine character who's he's been nothing but an asshole with too, basically this whole time, and like tried to kill multiple times. And she's like standing on a cliff at the beach out of the ocean, just yelling, "Hero, I'm right over here, so come and kill me!" And it's I have a clip of this and I'm gonna play it because it is amazing, but it's also completely out of nowhere and it such a toxic. I don't know. It's great. Yeah, I have a note here about how like a lot of the like human like Gundam as a series has never really it has had some years that kind of dealt with aliens, but it's very much been like first contact deal with aliens type stuff. And in most of the series, it's literally just humans from Earth fighting humans from not Earth. And all of the like general characters for the Earth side have like cartoonishly villain voices. And I was thinking about it as why they sound so out of place coming from these humans. It's because it's like, oh, I recognize most of these voices. They're just coming out of like weird alien creatures and all the like Dragon Ball and other anime I watched when I was a kid. So I just have this like association with those voices to weird alien creatures. So it's weird of it coming out of a dude. Oh, okay. Let me scroll down a bit here. Yeah. Oh, it's for sure. It's so much reminding me of that like voice copy pasta about the guy going like, I want a woman who would literally kill me, and then goes into great detail about how he wants them to kill her, them to kill him in that like radio DJ voice. It very much comes like that. It's like you want this guy to kill you, or it's like once again the appeal of Yandere that I don't really get. Yeah, it cuts back from that to like Hero and Duo, Wing and Deathscythe's pilot, as they like Hero's taking off in his mech, and Duo runs up and it's like, oh, he's super impressed because it's like, oh, you managed to fix that in one night. That's really impressive. And then turns around and his mech is basically in pieces because he basically salvaged all the parts from his mech and fix his. We finally cut back to the other two pilots because it's those two are together. The Chinese guy is attacking the base the enemy pilot's at, and the other two, Quatre and Troa, the heavy arms, this guy, and Sandrock that's over there. It just is a scene of Quatre's just playing the violin in his room, and the other guy's just silently, broodingly leaning against the wall with his eyes closed, but he's got a big smile on his face. Without saying a word, he just kind of like walks across the room, goes to a cupboard, pulls out a flute, starts playing along with them. And it's just like, oh, you guys are a cute little couple. It's just like, it's just neat. Not neat, but it's just, I heard this was a, like, very much of a shonen show. So I kind of thought it was going to be all applying to pretty boys for girls. So it's kind of neat seeing they're throwing in that Fujo bait. And it's actually kind of cute and wholesome most of the time. Oh, and then the other clip I have for voice acting is it then cuts back to the, Wu Fei, the guy who attacked the base after escaping. He's in the savannah surrounded by hyenas, and he yells, "Out of my way!" I'll play the clip, so forgive it is paraphrasing, but it's "Out of my way, you cowards!" And they all like all the hyenas disperse, and then like in a really like sad voice goes, "Fighting weaklings makes me feel so empty," and then roars at the moon. I have that clip too. I'm gonna play those two clips here in a moment, but let me get these pieces to at least where I can put them on. Then we can maybe play those clips. That was episode 4, and that's when I kind of decided I was going to watch the rest of this in dub, no matter how bad it got. Because if some of the bad moments are half as good as these moments, it should be pretty good. Like I said, I already kind of have to like put rose-tinted glasses on to deal with the animation, so I can do that for the voice acting as well. Other than watching that, I haven't done too much the last couple of days. Mostly been fiddling around with video editing software, trying to learn the ins and outs of using it. Good fun. I also still plugging up stuff pretty consistently too, especially with the audio stuff. I find a lot of times I'll make a bunch of changes to the audio and I'll go back like, oh, that screwed everything up. But thankfully, it's a good old undo and redo way, so it's not too permanent. Oh, speaking of, I remember there was like a rom-com I mentioned the other night. I couldn't remember the name off the top of my head, but it was definitely up there as one of my favorites. It was, I looked up the title. The title is, The Boy Who Cried Wolf Tells a Lie Again Today, or something like that. That's the English translation of the Japanese title, so it has a little looseness to it, but that's the title for it. I actually really like it. It's, oddly enough, it's a cross-dressing manga, which I don't actually read a whole lot of, because I find there's a problem with a lot of cross-dressing manga that it usually is coming from like one of two camps, and it's either where it's that person's fetish, which no issue with, it just tends to be the story where that's their fetish, it tends to be not something that super appeals to me when I read it, or the ones where it's actually kind of just wholesome in a lot of ways. I find there's an odd amount of them that are like that. And this one is definitely one of those for sure. But I really enjoyed that one. I also really like how it's a rom-com with involving cross-dressing. It has basically someone pretending to be a girl to get to know a guy pretending to be a girl to get to know the girl he likes. Essentially, it's accidental and it happens, but that type of story, it very much makes you think that it's like, oh, it's gonna be the very end when she finds out. But they do a good job of actually getting that out of the way kind of early, and then dealing with what comes after that. And actually, a kind of like adult. There's children still, so they definitely react emotionally, but they do a kind of good job of like coming to terms with stuff after the fact. Yeah, I think we could start putting this stuff together. Slides through there. So there. Okay. So the one on the back side. Oh, I see. I gotta layer it up underneath first. It's not. Oh, and it explodes everywhere. At least it didn't come apart. Put that on upside down. Okay, yeah, I just had to make sure I was pressing upwards when I slid that in. Then it snapped right into place. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Which way does this go? This way. Yeah. Yes, exactly. That's what I was fearing. Then when I picked it up, it was still in 2 main parts. I was quite happy. Booster. 3. Yeah, the 2 voice acting clips I'm going to show here in a second are pretty much really made me kind of excited to watch more of the show. As I said, the animation was kind of not impressing me at all. The plot was moving, but it was kind of iffy. But now I'm kind of locked in for really giving it, but not great voice acting, and kind of see where the like romance subplots go, because they're really toxic in like a soap opera way. That they kind of just want to see where the train wreck goes. Because they're also throwing like huge, like the 2 guy pilots that kind of get along. They're throwing huge. They're gonna have to kill each other vibes all the time with those 2 as well, unfortunately. So we'll see where that goes. Yeah, little wing pods on the back. Yeah, this clips up. Let's see if this works. Just whip this together 4 strings. So not sure if it will. Let's pause the BGM for now. Actually, probably just. Wow. Figure don't need to really make it any bigger than it needs to be to risk things.
He's still just a young boy.
Not sure if this is coming through. Yeah.
He's still just a young boy.
It's a little quiet. Let me turn that up a bit. Rather than lean across the camera, I'll just bring this over here. Yeah, is this showing up on stream okay? I'm just gonna jump ahead to the each one. Yeah, let me know if you see this and hear that. I have been hearing this just so I don't play it no reason. Oh. Oh, hell yeah. Awesome. Yeah, here's her screaming hero into the wind.
I am right over here, so come and kill me!
See, it's like not bad voice acting, but it just seems really weird direction. And then, oh yeah, this is the sad wolf guy. He's surrounded by hyenas, sorry. It's kind of
Get out of my sight, you weaklings! Fighting a weak enemy leaves me feeling so empty afterwards.
So sad. Just to yell. Yeah, it'd been great. worth showing off just for the voice acting in those two clips in particular. Yeah, let's keep going with this model. Time for the other one. Oh yeah, let's get that BGM going again. There we go. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I don't know if it showed up that well on stream, but like when he was talking about how empty his on, his lips were like quivering. It's just so sad that he has so many weak people around him. I also have two clips that are literally the like heroine and main character's first two interactions that I want to show just to really drive home. It's like this is what she fell in love with. These things, that first two things that happened with them. Very much. Oh, okay. Oh, I think this is the last piece in this sprue, is it? Yeah, it is. Thank you for your service, sprue. Yeah, I couldn't actually believe it when they had that. Like when it cuts that clip of her on the left side just yelling, "Come and kill me!" It's just, have some self-respect, please. Oh. Which I don't know. I'm mildly hopeful because I remember what I remember of her from the movie, she was putting up with his shit and that. So I hope it comes around. But yeah, indeed true storytelling. Yeah, I guess we can talk about the next episode a bit while we're continuing here. Mildly relevant, kind of what I was thinking about there was I was going to mention how that character specifically is the only one who's kind of on his own, because like the other two were paired up, and then the main character wants to be alone, but the like space Australian guy will not leave him alone. This piece loose. I don't like that at all. Should be okay though. Just have to be careful. But yeah, the next episode, episode 5, starts with the main heroine's name is Lena. Now, I haven't actually started writing it down here. And her father, who was shown in the previous episodes to basically be like a diplomat for Earth, he was attending a bunch of meetings with generals and stuff like that in the previous episodes. And in the very first episode, they were like returning from space on one of these meetings, and now they're back into space, heading to a colony, along with one of the Secret Service, like Oz, what they're called. That's the organization the like Ace Pilot works for, and one of the big generals that we work for. And this is like a female member that was the one who captured Hero in one of the previous episodes. And she's accompanying them basically to speak with the representation of the colony to basically see if they sent these Gundams to attack Earth. Oh yeah, that Oz officer literally uses every scene she's in to like make a reference under her breath about how the dad's not gonna live. So it's kind of obvious what her deal is. But yeah, she plants like her makeup mirror that has a bomb in it outside under the table in the meeting room, and like the diplomat Relena finds the mirror and returns it to her like with 10 seconds on the timer. So she just literally like chucks the mirror through the window into the meeting room and still closes up everyone that was there. Just she's clearly not there anymore. Relena runs off, so she sends her subordinates after her and telling them to kill her. And she arrives in the room, and there's already like armed people there going through the bodies trying to figure out. And they tell her that her father's the only one alive, but she needs to come with them as they're like carrying him away. And the Oz troops that were sent after her show up, and there was a firefight. They basically grab her and run off with her during the firefight. While they're driving off, they say they can't trust any of the like administration on the colony at the moment. They just kill them, so they start taking them to the rebel base. On the way, the dad reveals that, oh, I'm not actually your father. You're the father of this famous like pacifist noble family that the Earth government wiped out, called the Peacecrafts. I worked for them and really respected them, so I raised you as my own and all that fun stuff, and then immediately dies. Telling her not to trust Oz and beware of Oz. Yeah, this is a very soap opera show, the more I get into it, which I kind of love, but it's not bad. From there, it cuts back to Troya and Quattro, the other two droids. And just a reminder, like, Troya's basically has almost no personality so far. He's just been the guy who, like, broods and leans in the corner really silently. He had, like, one scene where he went to join a circus because he, like, talked about how he, like, feels a companionship with the lions that they had. But yeah. Troy is apparently leaving for a mission. Like, it basically, during this thing, it showed all the pilots getting summons off to do missions. So he's leaving to tell a mission. Quattro yells after him to at least tell me your name, because apparently they hadn't told them each other's name this whole time. So they tell each other their names and they leave. And then one of Quattro's like underlings, like he seems to be royalty of some kind. Like he has like people who like follow him. But yeah, one of his main subordinates comes up and is like, what if he comes back and attacks us? He knows the main location of our main base. And he literally like looks at the window and says, I almost wish he would come back. At least I get to see him again. And it's the host is like, oh, you're not even being subtle with this. Oh, but yeah, it got more direct than I expected it to. Relena wakes up after being knocked out by the rebels on the way to the race. And there's like a TV report on the television with Oz basically blaming the rebels for the attack and claiming they kidnapped her. She has a little fun freak out that in the middle of she starts whining, I want to see Hero, I want to see Hero. And an old doctor like wanders up with like leg braces and crutches and everything. He's like, oh, did you say Hero? Do you mean Hero Yui? And it turns out like this rebel organization is basically an organization that trained and sent Hero to Earth. Let me scroll down here. Yeah, he tells her a bit about how Hero grew up there, and apparently, like his name, Hero Yui, was like a famous colony revolutionary that now like any like fanatic basically takes that name when they go to fight Earth. So he's very fanatical. Talks about how he's like, oh, you know, he's a really kind guy. It's like, yes, I know. And it's like, how do you know? He's literally shown you zero kindness. But okay. But it tells her if she values her life, she should never get involved with him again, and sends her back to Earth. And then at the very end, the hero in the Wing Gundam shows up to attack the target he was given. While he's attacking it, like Deathscythe shows up. He's like, oh, we were told to attack the same facility. Isn't that weird? And like saves him from a mech that was sneaking up behind him. And it goes a little bit more of an action scene. And then Hero does the same thing and saves him. It's like, oh, now we're even. Oh, it's like buddy cop stuff. It's like you can tell it's like very much kind of like pairing these two up as like platonic friends in a neat way, even though he wants to so badly be a lone wolf. It's neat. Yeah, and that was episode 5. As I said, I kind of got distracted making those clips from the voice acting stuff, so I didn't really get the other third episode like I usually want to. But I hope those clips take up for it. Those are great clips. Yeah, yeah, it's definitely. It almost makes me wonder if there was something going on, like subtle in like how things were handled in the Japanese version that just didn't come across in the English version at all. But literally, I'll show you the clips here in a moment once I finish this piece of the two interactions. Her two first interactions with this dude, it's literally just him being a terrorist and telling her he's gonna kill her. It's like, okay, I guess you find that hot. Enjoy your problems. But I think it's very much meant to be the like being attracted to the bad boys trope, because like everyone in your school like fawns over her, and she's like the perfect student. I think it's very much going for that type of thing, just to the extreme of where the bad boy literally wants to kill you. Yeah, as I said, now that I've actually, because like I watched the first two episodes, I was kind of iffy on the whole thing, because like the animation wasn't great, the voice acting wasn't stupendous. It was just a few like kind of overdramatic moments that were giving me kind of hope. But now after those couple voice acting things, I actually really want to see the scenes that people are disappointed in, because I have a feeling I'll just laugh my ass off rather than actually be upset. Okay, what's the exact knife? These should be good to go together. Yeah, thanks for listening to me ramble about Gundam. It's actually, as I said, it's kind of been nice reflecting on why I'm enjoying something and why I don't like, and kind of being critical. Because I absolutely don't think because I wanted to rewatch Gundam Wing, because I said I do Gundam Wing models all the fucking time, so it feels kind of inappropriate that I don't know a whole lot about it. But I've tried a couple times in the past, and it's hard. I never really got past the first couple episodes. I do remember the movie being a fair step up in quality, so I am looking forward to watching that. But I'm probably I'll wait until I watch everything else first, because I'm pretty sure that is like a final thing in the movie. Actually, I'll probably look up to see where that fits in the plot, because if I need to watch it at a certain point in the story, I will. But I don't think that's the case. I know there's the 49 episodes in the main series, and then there was 3 OVAs that they put together into a movie. That was Endless Waltz. That's where all these models are based from, that series. And then they had a like thing called Operation Meteor that was basically like a backstory for all the pilot characters, or like how they became a pilot. And I remember, I remember I got spoiled a little bit on one of those. I remember it gave a bit of a backstory to why that Chinese pilot is such an asshole. I'll talk about that when I watch it. Almost there. I think we'll clean this piece up, we'll get it together. Then I'll take a little break from construction to show you those clips. keep finding things that bug me. Oh yeah, I guess I can close this now. Noise. This one. Backside boosters. This one on the fronts. And oh, just those little boosters now. Hey, up there. Yeah. 23. Yeah. I don't know. I really should check out some of those modern Gundams because I heard I like the last two series, which is Mercury and the one that's airing right now. I heard are both supposed to be pretty good. I've only really seen one scene from that Witch Mercury series. And it was actually a pretty neat contrast. It's like, because apparently part of it's like a light-hearted kind of like school story, like school/romance story. But then also comes the scene I had was that part of the story directly clashing with the part of the story where one of them is like a Gundam pilot and is like, yeah, you're a giant robot that regularly mows down like hundreds of troops. You are a very callous person when it comes down to like killing enemies. Cool. Well, that pod's done. You bring up those clips once again. Yeah, I figured I'd finish talking about the other episodes because these are both from episode 1. Both of these clips I'm going to show you right now. And these are her first two interactions.
He's still just a young boy.
Yeah, this is when she finds him on the beach.
Don't try to move. The ambulance is almost here.
Did you see?
See what?
They're down there!
They're so extreme.
Hurry! Hey, who are you? Hey, stop!
Just work. Yeah, I told you when I was going over the episodes last time. I told you about this scene. This scene gave me hope.
My name is Relina Dorlin. What's yours?
Oh, so overdramatic. And then this, their second interaction, she gives him an invitation to her birthday after he transfers into her school.
But why?
Wipes away a tear.
I'll kill you.
That's what it took for her to fall in love with him.
I am right over here, so come and kill me!
Yeah, that's the little things these do. These are good.
Get out of my sight, you weaklings!
Fighting a weak enemy leaves me feeling so empty afterwards.
Yep, I'm in this dub for the long haul now. Age 21. Yeah, but at the same time, the lady at the start did reach her hand out as if she was like introducing herself to the ambulance that was screeching away at the start. So there's a certain amount of intent that I think is actually what it's supposed to be. I think it's just a really soap opera over dramatic show as well. But yeah, for sure, there's probably something else going on. Oh, could be, especially at that time. But I think that last clip with the Wu Fei guy, I think that's 100% the thing that I often think about with when I'm watching subbed anime. At least a lot, not a little less nowadays, but definitely at the start. It was like maybe this is just as cringy as it is as the dub is, but I just can't understand the language, so maybe that makes it better. Oh, let's get a BGM going again. There. Yeah, thanks for hearing me talking about some old ass anime. Enjoying it. Keep on it. I'll probably have a few more episodes ready for. I'm mostly going to be doing that during these model streams because I think it's probably more thematically appropriate than trying to talk about anime while playing a game. But we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I should have quite a bit more time between now and the next time I need to talk about it, so I'll probably go through and watch quite a few. So I don't have that. I only have the 3 actual like Gundam wing models right now. There aren't a whole lot of the other ones I'm really all that interested in getting. So I don't know how long we'll actually be building Gundam wing specifically models. So I'd like to get through it before I'm done them. No, it's not necessary either. I always just talk about it because I want to talk about it. Well, it's off camera, so right. Get a good close look. Yeah, because I have been enjoying watching Gundam so much, I am going to probably go from this mech directly into another Gundam mech after. And it will probably be that Wu Fei pilot guy's part of the Shenlong. I do kind of like its transforming dragon arm. Yeah, and that'll work out too, because I don't think the one my third mech is, I don't think appears until much later on in the series. It's like the Ace Pilot's like late game upgrade mech. I'll probably hold on to that until I get to it in the series. this together. Big plate. Okay, and that gives the little ball joints the nozzles for the thrusters will hook up to. Yeah, I mentioned it's a stream storyteller, but I actually really enjoyed playing Titanfall 2. It was yeah, going through the levels. I was really neat seeing the. I forgot how much the bosses were characters in that. Like they really kind of played up the characters of the boss in a way that kind of like it made me see a lot of how they had characters to come up with for heroes in Apex. Very much came across even then. And of course, the level design for the levels was the thing I really because there's that level where you were basically going through a assembly line for prefabricated houses. That was really cool, where they were basically building the houses up around you as you fought. And where are we at? A23. And then there was the level with all the timey-wimey bullshit, where you basically were like going through parkour challenges where you were constantly shifting back and forth in time because to clear the route. Those are both really cool levels. I remember there being one more really cool level that we haven't gotten to that I'm looking forward to. Yeah, and as you mentioned, I also really enjoyed the like kind of deadpan humor BT uses at the start. That's a lot better than like the marvelly quips. Like a lot of the action in this game has it too, all over the place as well. But I always kind of like more subtle types of humor than just straight like quips, like Marvel have done to death. Where everything's a punchline. Yeah, like even the ones that were like brutish had their place. They made a good job of making it like a believable mercenary company. Like not necessarily good guys, but it's like this is kind of you need not just have psychopaths as every character to actually have a functioning organization. There. Snap this one on here. Yeah. There's the booster pack. The little thrusters. Yellow detailed vents on the front. That will attach right on the back here. See, there's an open slot. Which has this little shaped peg that'll go right in that slot. Oh, let me put it right side up though. Let's take that away for now. Yeah. We have the boosters attached in the back. Hold on nicely. Now it's just the weapons. Yeah, which isn't surprising. As I said, they went on to make Apex. probably had quite a few characters saved up. So they probably were thinking about that for a while. So I imagine all those villains were like rough, were part of the same rough docs that went into making the Apex heroes. Well, one of them, as I said, Ash is literally an Apex character now, so. Yeah, now we're gonna start working on that scythe. Yes, a scythe. Scythe. 1, 2, and 7. I think this might be the longest piece I've ever cut off out of one of these screws. Touch the end. Two. Seven. Oh, but before I start cleaning this up, I need some water. Hydrate, everyone. Yeah, so this should be the last stream during the week this week. Should be back on Sunday to most likely play the end of Titanfall 2's campaign. Not gonna say 100% because anything can happen, stuff come up and change. I will be streaming Sunday regardless. I'm just not 100% of whether it's gonna be that. That's what I have planned right now, but I want to leave it open in case I want to do something else. Like something else comes up. Then I'll be back again next Tuesday doing another one of these model building streams. Actually, at the end of this stream, I'll probably show off the one I'll be doing then. And that one will actually wait and I'll open up the box itself on stream so you can kind of see how it comes packaged. Yeah, this is for sure the longest one of these plastic pieces I've cut out of a sprue. I don't think I really have anything else that even comes close. Yeah, maybe the blades on that Sunrock or the barrel on the one behind me, but I think even those are a little shorter. If I remember correctly, that barrel came in multiple pieces I had to put together. Yes, no, that's why I'm collecting it, is because I was very curious about that too. And as I said, I kind of have a plan. I think I'll probably either melt it down and use it for something per model, or do like a vial and do like layers for each model, just to kind of see the comparison in the different color palettes the things do. That's why I'm trying to be fairly diligent about collecting them all. Fix my headset hair here. One moment. Oh, I am. I must. Oh, right. I muted my headset when I adjusted my headset. Thank you for mentioning that. Should make sure to use. I have a little control panel here. I should try and use to make sure I'm muted, because that actually changes the color of the mute button when I change it. But thank you for letting me know. don't think I got anything super relevant out. I think I just mentioned, which you could probably tell what I was talking. I was just pointing out all the different hand styles they have and come with, and the different things: closed fist, open palm, holding various things. I won't have to worry about that with the VOD. I think the VOD's. Oh no, wait, that is on. That will count for the VOD. Oh well, as I said, I don't think it's anything important. I am locally recording, but I cut it off on the headset level, so it's not going to get that audio no matter what I do. I think this is the actually only one for Scythe Blade. I think that actually one. I think his like shield is supposed to have like a deployable blade as well. I never really understood why he also needed a blade for his other hand when he had a huge ass scythe in one. I think in the show he almost exclusively like uses that other blade as like fires it off on a cable to hit someone. Wiggle a little bit, so just make sure it's as tight as I can. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it that well, but the hand just has a little peg inside it, and that slides into a like slot. Like the entire backside of the scythe is actually a bunch of huge slots. So you can pretty much put the hand wherever you want. Hold it. It's there. That hand slots into it. Just rotate the thumb so it's out of the way there. Snapped in, you just rotate the thumb around to hold it. Aha! Oh, actually, there's another piece here I'll cut out. It looks like it actually comes with like a mount. You can mount it on his back as well if you want to. Get that piece. Usually when there's optional pieces like this, I usually cut them out and attach them so I have them if I need to. It's H28. Yeah, I'll show you with that other neon green piece once I get it. The shield together. It's another like optional deployable piece. Where is this? 28. Oh, down here. piece. No, so by the way. Up like that. Yeah, that gives a little basically mount on the back. I can put that scythe on if I want. I'll leave it in the hand for now. Oh, yeah, now it's that shield's turn. And then I think that's it. Yeah. Oh, but let's get this done first. T. Oh wait, dude, it's that blue sprue. Oh no. Yeah, this is the problem when you start getting down to like the end, is that there's so many open little hooks that if you start stacking them together, they just get interlocked like over and over again. T. This is where a bunch of these green pieces we're going to use are for. I think this sprue has the most pieces left of any of them. Let's get all the parts. A22. I think probably what I'll do is I'll probably try and think of poses for this off stream. Then when we come back on Tuesday, I'll show off a couple I think are best and see what people think. I have a better sense of the shield once I've done it. But as I said, in the anime at least so far, the shield has almost exclusively been like launched and fired by wire at the enemies, so. And from the looks of the build instructions for it, it has a ton of moving parts. I'm kind of curious. So, slots. This is ratcheting hinges and shit. Okay, H20. Yeah, sorry, I'm kind of slowing down. Got really excited talking about Gundam. Kind of caught up with me a little bit there. But rather put my passion where it kind of counts. Hope you enjoyed me talking about it. What did I did there? 27. So. This should be the last part. Almost positive. Should cut some extra ones off here so I can do a bunch of cleaning all at once. Let's get these end pieces. Almost. Just one step. There we go. And an empty sprue. And actually, is this one empty? It's empty too. Getting all kinds of empty sprues. Yeah, another one. This one's still got some. That probably means I need these pieces, isn't it? 18, 21, B1. Oh, let's get some of these out of here. Yeah, I got a fair bit. Let me clean these up first. Hold. There we go. Yeah, in terms of next week, she'll probably be doing the Shenlong on Tuesday and Thursday. Wednesday, it'll be another gaming stream. I will, for sure, probably have Titanfall 2 done by then if I play it on Sunday. So that'll be a new game. So I'm still kind of thinking of what I want to do for that. leaning pretty hard towards Oblivion Remaster right now, but gonna do some digging over the weekend and see what I can think of. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what it was, but I definitely found it was a lot less mentally drained after streaming a game. Maybe it's because you kind of have something to keep your attention on. Just filling time. Filling time. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, but I feel when I'm quiet for a bit. But that's the game. Comes with experience. Oh, let me scoot my chair in. Leaning way more and more and getting out of camera. Better. Reminds me of like Canyon Stalking soundtrack music. Oh, I hope we get another album of that with the new season of that coming out. It'd be great. Part of what I really like the series, the music is fantastic. Much. A little hurt though. These are all trimmed up. Oh. Sure, I'm putting these together. These actually have like little gear teeth that interlock. I have to make sure I'm doing them correctly. same on both sides. Okay. Yeah, I just gotta make sure they're pointed in the right directions. So. This side. Right. Yeah, okay, that's good. This side. Okay. Need to lock the rear wheels, make it easy to move one, move the other. Got her case seats. Make sure to orientate in the right direction. Oop, it flies out. Let's try that again. There we go. That bites a bit better. And then the other. Too low. Too high. Just right. It is not. Slide the nose down. Cheese part down. Snap it in. There we go. Finally got it. Yeah. This part's springs. The gears facing in. There. Oh, push myself apart. Ow. Ow. This gear feels really hurt. Wait, what? Oh, they're different. I didn't realize that. One of these is a slot, whereas one of them is just a, like, indent. Oh. I don't know why that is. Separatable claw part of the shield. The final plate in place. A pieces. T. Last one for this one. It was another empty screw. Here we go. 8. It's always the fun game when you have pieces left over after a puzzle, but thankfully I can go through and this instruction manual actually has a section to show you pieces that you don't actually need to use. There's a lot of some of these sprues have extra pieces they don't use on them. We'll see. Worry about that when I get to it. Something to think about. Probably too hard, but I just to figure out the actual timestamps for when I throw the things. Well, maybe in the future I'll pay more attention, take note when I check them. Fuck. Right there. Shield? Pretty sure. Thought I could use it. Don't. Yeah. Oh, okay. I was going to say, I don't see a peg to actually attach this model anyway. There's another piece. Just in a different section. Okay. now. There we go. That's snaps onto there. That. Wait, give me a slot on the top. Yeah. There we go. Actually, probably gonna do for now, just so I have a hand in his other some fingers on his other hand. I'm gonna cut out this other grab hand. So when I'm doing poses, I can grab that scythe with his other hand if I want to. Much more like he'll use that in the closed fist or the open hand attachment. So I'm not gonna bother to cut those ones out. I'm pretty sure I have like 7 or 8 mechs worth of like hand screws at this point, where it's just various hands that I don't use. Other holding hand attachment snap in here. Easier before I put the shield on, but hindsight and all that. No. Oh, should be able to. Grab all this. It takes some time to kind of line up stuff properly for the posing. It isn't the worst, but sometimes it's easier to like take the hands out off, attach them to the piece, and then put them in the hand socket. Yeah, which is actually what I'm going to do. Getting that slot in, it'll be easier than getting this on the piece. Ah. Yeah. Holding that scythe. Suppose I could probably choke up on it a bit more, and that wouldn't be so bad. Cross the shield in front of the body a bit. Yeah. Quick example of something you can do is for posing. So now, yeah, I'll come back next week with a couple poses in mind. Go through and see. We can decide which one we like the best. Yeah, I think the only other thing we have left is this sprue. Just has the tiny man for scale that I don't care about. Hands that I want to keep. I gotta look up what this piece is from. That is worrying. B. Seven. Where was that used? Humor me for a second while I dig into this. I just don't want to think I'm finished and have a piece left over. 13. Oh, so I used one of them here somewhere. Oh, it's the bottom of the scythe. Right here. So I guess that's just an extra piece. Piece 6. So this is a different piece. Any extras here somewhere? Oh no, right there. I actually missed it. Sweet. Thought I looked. Goes on top of the scythe. That's why I always go through the sprue and check the pieces that are left over. Usually there's something like that. Yeah, I can tell that piece is just right on the head of the scythe here. This little poke forward. Oh, okay, I see. That's why. When I was pushing this blade in, this piece on the back was pushing out with it. I was wondering why. It's because this piece slots on top and acts as like a retaining pin, essentially. Right up. To do. Let me take that scythe out first. Piece. Okay, nice. So yeah, that'll hopefully make it easier to get the scythe in and out. Oh yeah, it snaps much more smoothly now. Sweet. And that's that screw gone. And oh, yeah. These pieces, there's 2 joint pieces, but I'm pretty sure these are no-goes. Yeah, you can kind of see. Yeah, you can see those pieces actually have X's over them on the diagram. And that means those pieces aren't used, so that's another empty sprue. So we have the hand sprue left, which I'm keeping because I need these. I like to keep these hands in case you need them. And let's get this out and just see what this looks like before we finish. Empty, nice lime green. It's pretty pieces of frets. There we go. That one's got a little. Oh well, it shows up. Oh yeah, it shows up pretty good on camera. Actually, it's got a little slot on there. So I'm assuming it's going to use that in some way to sock it into the shield. Let's see how that looks. Oh, it's pushing on the scythe. Okay, do it from that angle. Let's move the arm. There we go. Rotate the forearm a bit. Give it some more room. How does this go in? Launch right in. Oh yeah, it's right there. It's another blade he has on his shield when you open up the jaws. Like that. Oh, kind of too close for the camera to really see. In the other one. See it on that camera a little better. Oh, lighting's not great, but it is what it is. Yeah, figure out some poses for that guy, and I'll show him off next week. That's pretty much that build done. Let me take a quick look and see how much plastic we have at the end of today. And then I'll grab that other model and show that off. Here. Yeah, and I'll go through and do a more thorough cleanup job on this thing here. But that's what we got so far for that model. I'm sure I have lots of it that didn't end up in it, but I got a nice little color spectrum, I think. I'm gonna hang on to that and find some use for it. And let's grab that next model. So yeah, I had the model for the one we just finished doing, Deathscythe. That one's all done now. So we'll be doing this one, the Shenlong, next time. See on the side that little dragon arm he's got. Other than that, he's got a shield and a trident. Yeah. And I'll show it off fully next time. But yeah, everything's still in the bags. Well, that's the plan for next time. So let's set him up here. He'll be there for next time. Then, now I gotta find out where I'm gonna display this guy once I have the poses figured out, because yeah, it's not bad, but it doesn't really show off the scythe. Go a little farther away. My camera is secured to the table. I'll take some nicer pictures and post them on my Twitter. But yeah, speaking of that, I have a Twitter. If you want to check it out, I'll probably post some pictures and the stuff I've been working on. And as usual, as I mentioned before, also at the same, it's right above my camera there on screen, as you can see, handset 7.3. Wasn't quite as lucky to get good names for those as I was for Twitch. But check those out. All my stream VODs will be going up there. It might be a couple days later, but they'll get there eventually. So if you want to check them out, feel free to go there. And as I said, just post some random pictures that I can't really pick up and show too well on stream on my Twitter, and I'll also be posting there whenever I go live, in case you're not on Twitch. But other than that, I think that is going to be everything for me tonight, guys. Thanks for coming out. I had a great time. Love talking Gundam Wing with you guys. And it's my first model done on stream. Glad I got to document it. Glad you're all joining me for it. Well, thanks again. Have a good night, everyone.